Well, hi everybody. I'm John Ritland, and this is my review of WWE NXT for February 5th, 2020. We are closing in on TakeOver Portland, looking to be one hell of a solid card. But before we get to that, we got to review this, and we got to get through next week's episode. But really, this TakeOver is looking fucking tremendous, and I can't wait to review it. I'm very, very excited for it. But anyway, let's jump right on into the review here. We got Dunn and Riddle coming out in a golf cart with the Dusty Classic trophy on top. I'm sure that Riddle probably smoked something out of the trophy. I would not be surprised at all. A lot of weed puns and a lot of jokes here. We get Marvin Ellis saying Riddle knows a thing or two about Super Bowls and he's on a high cloud nine because he's a weed smoker, because they haven't hit it into your head enough that he smokes weed. I'm not judging. It's just, not now they're going a little overboard with it, but whatever. O'Reilly and Fish show up. O'Reilly says Matthew Riddell and Pete Dunne, and I want to see Pete Dunne in the remake of Dune, and it can't, flop at the box office any worse than the David Lynch version, which was not a bad movie, but my God, did it flop badly. So, Fish then says at one point, Bobby Fish says, no, we don't want to worry about you guys, we got bigger fish to fry. Riddle picks up on that and says, Bobby Fish just said fish. How much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? And just keeps going with that. And Dunn says, well, I don't know about that, but we're going to smoke the Undisputed Era in Portland. That was pretty much our opening segment right there. I don't know what the fuck was happening. Dunn's stoic just expression whenever Riddle cracks jokes is just hilarious. It's a lot funnier than it should be. Not a bad opening segment, and we get, an overarching story that starts here and then carries throughout the entire show. We get Angel Garza versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. Flippy shit. All the flippy shit. A lot of fun. I love Swerve. Seen him live multiple times. So happy for his success. Angel Garza just come on scene, done so goddamn well in NXT. He did well before this, don't get me wrong. But man, he's taking all those skills and putting it on this worldwide platform and doing really damn well. We get Eddie Gordo-like kicks from Swerve, and if you know that reference, I'm happy for you because it's a fighting game reference. So Swerve does that flip where he flips over the ropes, but Garza kicks him in the back of the head. There was some pretty good stuff in this, way too much to call. Swerve does go for the house call, does hit it, 1, 2, and a kick out, and some more near falls, and then wing clipper, 1, 2, 3. And then Garza cuts a promo with his finger bleeding, so I hope he's okay. I don't know where the hell that happened, but hopefully he's okay. And he wants to get a shot at Jordan Devlin since he was not pinned in that Cruiserweight 4-way at Worlds Collide. Pretty damn good match and pretty damn good show, by the way. Check it out on WWE Network if you haven't had a chance, and check out my review afterwards. So, not that bad. We get Undisputed Era backstage wondering where Ciampa is, and then there's this guy getting a haircut, and then Roderick takes the clippers and puts it through his hair. I mean, because I would know about hair. Clearly, I have so much, so I was so shamed by it. Nah, I wasn't. I don't know who the fuck the guy was. He must have just been a tech or something. But anyway, we get a Mercedes Martinez package, and then Beth says Mercedes Martinez. So apparently Beth Phoenix has went to the JR school of screwing up names, and Beth Phoenix is tremendous. She powered through that head injury, that head wound at the Royal Rumble. So I'm not knocking her toughness in the ring, but maybe the 3-person commentary booth isn't the best idea. I mean, maybe you kind of need to ease back on that, but you know what, botches happen is what it is. We get Dominik Dijakovic versus Killian Dane. All from a confrontation earlier. Dane says, oh, you think you deserve a shot at the North American Championship? No, I'm going to... It's like, you want to fight? Yeah, I want to fight. That's how we have that. Killian Dane, who has had the best win-loss record since coming back to NXT. Seriously, he had like a little bit of a push, and then now he's barely been featured at all. Commentary says at one point, Dane knows how to maximize his size. Nikki Cross approves. I had to say that. It was definitely a big man fight. It was big, it was all that beef. It wasn't bad at all. Dane, at least, is being utilized in NXT. I can't fault him there. He is being a jobber to the stars, clearly. They're never going to feature him in anything more than mid-card stuff. I hope he's okay with that, because I cannot see them pushing him as a main event. I just can't see it. I'm not saying he doesn't have talent. I just can't see them utilizing him any better than this. Eventually, a huge feast your eyes. 1, 2, 3. That was impressive strength from Dijakovic, and he gets a victory. And then we get Keith Lee coming out there, and he stares him down. We're getting that title match. Easy for me to say, at TakeOver Portland, which ought to be a pretty good match. They've had good matches on NXT TV before. This is going to be kind of the rubber man match. Sponsored by Trojan. So we then get Undisputed Era attacking Kushida because they want to know where Ciampa is. And then suddenly, Bronson Reed. Then he gets attacked. Everybody's getting laid out back there. And then we get Finn and Gargano in a war of words. Pretty damn good war of words here. Not going to try to encapsulate everything that they talked about, but Finn gets off some good lines. Gargano does get off one good line. That's the guy who lost to Bobby Lashley 17 weeks in a row on Raw. That feud was terrible, and thanks, Gargano. Thanks for bringing it back up. I really appreciate that. But it was good. Evan Balor says you're going to wish that guy showed up because it's going to be the match of your life. It's going to be the match to end your career. I'm really excited for this match. They really need to make it a street fight or something like that unless they're going to continue this feud because it almost feels the way they're building it like it's going to be the blow-off. And I'm worried they're going to do some kind of screwy finish. I really hope they don't. Gargano should win, but we'll see what happens. I'll be doing my predictions after NXT next week. Then I'll see all the matches that they lay out. Unless they have the entire card finalized, and then what I might just do is I might just do them, the Tuesday before. But anyway, good promo battle. This is one of the rare split screen promo battles that actually wasn't all that bad. They actually did some pretty good stuff here. And then we get Mercedes Martinez versus Casey Catanzaro. Took me forever to figure out how to say her last name, even though it's kind of simple. And they showed a video package where it's like they were talking about Casey, and they said, this young woman is infectious. There are medicines for that, Michael Cole. The fuck is wrong with you? In all seriousness, I'm glad that the rumors of Casey retiring were not true. I'm happy to see her back. Apparently she was nursing an injury or just taking time off. I'm not exactly sure. None of my business. If it was something personal. Her and Ricochet seem happy, so if that was the case, cool. Casey is quite dynamite in the ring, and no, I'm not talking about the AEW show. She just has a certain energy about her and her ability, coming from the American Ninja Warrior episode, where she really, caught the world on fire despite how diminutive she is. Just showed passion and heart and just great skill. She can be a star for them. Now, this was clearly a get-over match for Mercedes, or Mercedes, as Beth said. Yes, I had to say that again. Casey got in a few shots, but Mercedes, this was a get-over match for her. She showed off her power, great heel work, and then hit a Fisherman's Buster for 3. So, okay, nice get-over match. This is the way you should have done it. This is how they should have done the next match. They really should have included another women's match here, maybe just before the main event, and I'll get into why here in a little bit, but we get Ciampa and the Undisputed Era brawling, and then, it comes down to Ciampa and Cole. They're brawling and everything. It comes down to Cole. Then the Undisputed Era gets out of, the trailer that Ciampa trapped him in, that they were backstage around, and then the Broserweights come out and help. So we get this big old brawl and everything, and then we get Regal saying, okay, enough, we're going to get a 6-man match later. I thought they were going to do an 8-man match and then have a certain person return even. And it was pretty obvious who it was going to be that was returning. I mean, if you saw the vignettes at all and even had the cognitive ability to understand numbers and how two things and another thing up there were Velveteen. It was Velveteen is what I'm trying to say. Here's where things come to kind of a screeching halt. Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Breeze. This match went twice as long as it should have. Tyler Breeze is a good athlete. Jordan Devlin, maybe even a great athlete. Jordan Devlin is a very good athlete. I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to show that Tyler Breeze could hang with the Cruiserweight champion. And I'm not saying that Breeze should have been squashed, but you could have done this in 9 minutes and it would have been just fine. You could have put another match there or put a couple more video packages or something. This was a match for the sake of being too long, and it didn't need to be that long. And I know that it sounds like I'm being too critical. I'm not trying to be. I like these guys and think they're both very talented, but this match went way too fucking long. They had some nice exchanges. There were some nice near falls, but this went through a break when it didn't need to go through a break. Or if it had gone through a break, have it come back, it'll be the last 3 minutes and do that. I don't know. This is where my issue with the 2-hour NXT kind of, comes to light. This is where my issue kind of bubbles up. Sometimes 2 hours is too much. And not because of all the weekly WWE programming that they have. Sometimes they're extending it for the sake of extending it. You have a ton of women you could use. You have other people you could use. I'm not saying put everybody out there every single week to expose them, but you could have done that without having this match go as long as it did. There was a supermodel kick for 2, and then soon after, headbutt and Devlin's sign, 1, 2, 3. I think it's called Devlin's sign. I believe that's what it is. Nigel usually says it, and sometimes it's hard to understand some of what he says, but also 1, 2, 3. Cool. Okay, there. That match could have been cut in half. Bianca, Charlotte, and Rhea as a promo battle. And Bianca just looked like the instant Charlotte appeared, she just wanted to punch her in the face. I mean, I'm not saying to, like, nothing against Charlotte. They're building up this whole thing with Charlotte and Rhea, and Bianca feels slighted because Bianca's going to be facing Rhea, and they seemingly have forgotten about her being, in this match, which is a shame. It seems like they're going with a foregone conclusion that Rhea's going to retain, which kind of worries me that they're going to hot potato it to Bianca, but I don't think so. Unless they want to suddenly do a three-way, which wouldn't be that bad, and they have, like, say, a non-finish or something like that, and then they build to a three-way at Mania. It'd be a hell of a way to use Bianca, because she had a great performance in the Women's Royal Rumble. But she did say to Charlotte at one point, "You don't even go here." That was pretty funny. There was Rhea sticks up for Bianca because Charlotte's like, "I'm the queen, I'm this." Charlotte with the same damn promos she's been cutting for a while. Charlotte's a great athlete. I'm not going to knock that. I'm sick of Charlotte. I'm sick of her. Overexposure is doing it. Am I saying that she's bad in the ring? Quite the contrary. She is quite excellent in the ring. But it's the same promos. It's this, it's that. It just, I don't know. Hopefully, maybe this match with Rhea can bring something more out of her, because sometimes I'm starting to see the same thing, and it's starting to get kind of boring. But that being said, they hyped up this whole thing well. Charlotte knocks Bianca. Rhea says, "No, you know what? We are NXT, and you will not come disrespect us. I did not disrespect anybody that you worked with. I came just to challenge you, so don't disrespect us." Then they team up on her and hit a face buster, a variation of an implant buster on her. And there we go with that. I think Bianca and Rhea are going to get a nice little, hopefully 12-minute match at TakeOver Portland, maybe even 15, because I think they could tell a good story. We then get the 6-man match. And it was a brawl to start. We didn't get any bell ringing or any of that. We got Undisputed Era with Roderick Strong. So it was Cole, Bay, O'Reilly, and Fish. How much Fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry Fish? Ciampa, Dunn, and Riddle. It was nuts at first, and it slowed down a bit. But actually, to be honest, it barely slowed down for more than a minute before everybody was just hitting every goddamn move. It was like a video game match. I'm not knocking. I'm glad that they kept the pace up. They definitely had a great pace to it, and it was 6 of the most talented guys that NXT has. 7 if you count Roderick continuing to interfere, and a lot of no selling at some points. Strong got hit with the DDT when he tried to interfere, and then later Ciampa tries to go for the fairy tale ending on Cole. Strong hits a knee strike, causes a DQ. And they get Riddle and Dunn out of the ring, and then they spray a yellow X on Ciampa. They spray it all over his back. Have fun on seeing that. And then suddenly the lights go out. We get these 3 things up there, and suddenly Velveteen Dream is like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to jump off the ropes." And he's suddenly there and attacks everybody. And mainly attacks Strong. And then rips off his tights, and on the back says, "Call me up, Marina." Marina Shafir, and I believe they have a daughter, if I recall correctly. So he has his face, Marina's face, and the kid's face on his tights, and then "Call me up, Marina" on his back, or on his ass. Funny. That was funny. We're probably getting that match at TakeOver Portland as well, so that might be a long takeover. I gotta admit, I will give this show a B, but I'm close to giving it a B minus just because there were certain issues I had with it. However, the pace was kept up with this, so definitely a B. Overall. Anyway, there will be a poll above my head. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin, and I'll see you soon.